between the Hand-Eye Society, the Wild Rumpus, and the AGO. And the company that I'm part of is the Wild Rumpus, which is a UK-based indie game collective. And for want of a better phrasing, we organise indie game club nights. And there's about 6 of us that do them in the UK, and they're basically nights that we bring together different multiplayer indie game, video games, and games of spectacle and games of performance, and put on club nights that people can come out to and play.
Right. So whose idea was that? Did somebody approach you about that, or did you think this is a great idea, we need to get people on board?
So, the playbook, there was a history of sort of public-facing events that were doing stuff that was not against, kind of a little bit out of the ordinary, that were happening in New York, like Baby Castles were running these punk arcade club nights in New York.
Right.
And the Hand-Eye Society, who were the people we're collaborating with on this event, were doing different sort of cultural events in Toronto. And we were seeing all these photographs in the UK of these amazing club nights that were just a presentation of games that we'd never really seen done before in the UK. And it was like, hang on a minute, I want to go to these events, but they're happening in places far away. So it's like, well, hang on a minute, why don't we do this ourselves and put on our own event? And so there was a group of 4 of us, and we just decided to get together. Like, we'll do it in the UK, so we know that what we're doing isn't a unique idea, but it was taking inspiration from these other events internationally, and so that's how it got started. So there was myself and 3 others that co-founded it, and we've expanded.
It's a pretty small group then.
So we're about 6 people now, but it was 4 of us originally. And
so you're a developer?
I'm not a developer, no.
Okay. Are you like conceptual designer, or you're just in charge of the events?
I'm sort of the lead event producer for the events, so a lot of my life at the moment now is organising events, and that's not anything that I ever saw coming. So in my past life, I was a digital producer, producing websites, and I was always very interested, and I used to work in films as well, but I was very interested in the independent game scene, and just seeing how interesting it was with the changes that were happening sort of culturally and the different sort of games that were coming out of that space. And it was like, okay, I don't know how to develop, I don't know how to program, how can I get involved? And I kept going to events and meeting different people, and I kind of realized that actually the spaces that needed more people helping out with were the areas of getting these games into culture and bringing these games to people. So I was a digital producer, but now I don't make the games, but I'm the party planner or like the social secretary.
It's really interesting you talk about that, because one of the aims of our project is trying to figure out, like, how do we make games more accessible to more kinds of people, you know? It's not just that, you know, games are violent so women don't like them or something, you know, it's not just that. I think, like, there aren't so many contexts in which to play, or like if you don't have your own console, maybe you're not going to get to know them as well. So I think it's a really interesting idea that you made it more social and not like the thing that's confined to a basement or whatever.
And I think the thing that we realised with these events as well that's I think caught us a bit off guard is when we were running our first events, we're like, everybody wants to come and play games, but as we were walking around these events, we were talking to different people, and a lot of people who weren't gamers were saying, oh, I've not really played any games here, but that's fine because I just wanted to watch. And it was like, actually, people really undervalue the role of the spectator in these spaces and these events. And I think it's something that's really coming to the fore now with things like Twitch and people watching a lot of Let's Plays online and these events as well. It's like, actually, a lot of people just want to come and be around the culture, and people do want to play a bit, but not necessarily, I guess, to spend a lot of time engaged with them. And I think that's a good first step for a lot of ways for people to get involved. But I think as well, like when you look at, even when you come along to these events, we try to balance up the sort of games that we have and the controllers that we have. And when you've got a game that's like a local multiplayer that's using, say, an Xbox controller, you kind of forget that if you're familiar and you play a lot of games, that there's a language that's involved with using that controller.
If you don't know, you don't even know.
If you didn't start off playing like on the NES and see the evolution of controllers, you don't know where to start with picking these controllers up. And it's intimidating. So you come along to these spaces and you think, okay, well, that's obviously something I don't know how to do. I'll embarrass myself, so I won't get involved with. But we have games like Johann Sebastian Joust, which uses the Move controllers, which is just a glowing orb of light on a stick. And we have Tenya Wanya Teens, which is a game we co-developed with Venus Patrol and Yavula. And they're these games that use these completely unconventional controllers, which, again, it's those sort of games and those sort of interfaces that, and it's a really sort of level playing field that for people that don't play games, they don't feel afraid to engage with them, and they want to engage with them because it's this crazy glowing technology.
Yeah, it's going to be new for anyone in the room.
Exactly, and for people, and then you think for people that are used to playing games and people that do normally engage with games, that they don't have that nice discovery when they reach a controller. If you're playing with an Xbox controller, you're not like, wow, how does this work? Because you know it's not in interesting. And it's like giving a game, so it sort of works both ways, that it's an easy route for some people to get in, but on the other side as well, it's this nice sort of new discovery that they can go through with playing that brings the physical aspects and the tactility of it back. But